Hello and welcome to the Epitome.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Epitome. If you're wondering why today's video looks like it was filmed through a foggy window, don't worry. It's not just your imagination. Yep, that's our beloved host, slightly out of focus. It's like they're trying to be mysterious, but we're not filming a detective movie here. Don't worry, we'll get it sorted out for next time. Until then, enjoy the heavenly haze. Just pretend you're watching it through your grandma's old glasses. Remember to like, subscribe, and maybe send us some lens wipes. See you next time, hopefully in focus.
I am your host, Nathan Bozeman, and today we're going to be reviewing Dr. Gavin Ortlund's book, What It Means to Be Protestant. Let's get into it. I'm going to leave a link in the description below in case you want to pick up the book. I highly recommend it, and don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, I'm going to give full disclosure here. I am a big Gavin Ortlund fan. I've been watching Gavin Ortlund's videos basically since he started doing YouTube. I first found his channel with his video titled Protestants Can Be Rooted in History, and I've watched basically every video since then. I believe his work is necessary for the times that we are in. I cannot stress enough how thankful I am for it, and I also think he's a great example for how to navigate conflicts in a Christ-like manner. But you didn't come here to hear my opinion on Dr. Gavin Ortlund himself. Let's talk about the book. I actually reviewed his book on Goodreads. You can pause the video here and see what I had to say about it, or you can just follow me on Goodreads and follow all my reviews and see what I'm reading about at any given moment. You can see that I gave it 5 stars, and we're going to talk about why I did so in this video. The structure of the book is really helpful. Dr. Ortlund begins with a Protestant view of ecclesiology or doctrine of the church. He follows that up with a historical analysis of the context that sparked the Reformation. He then speaks on issues of authority in the church, follows that up with how Protestants view history, and then concludes with 2 case studies for why the Protestant view of the church makes the most sense of how to retrieve the faith of the apostles. We're going to break down each of these 5 sections independently as we go through this video. Let's begin with the Protestant view of ecclesiology, or our doctrine of the church, and how we view Catholicity. Historically, the non-Protestant traditions have viewed anyone outside of their ecclesial boundaries as outside of the church as a whole. For example, if you are not Eastern Orthodox, that would mean, according to the Eastern Orthodox Church, that you are not Christian at all. You're outside of Noah's Ark, doomed to drown with the rest of the unbelievers. In modern times, the ecclesial traditions have tried to backpedal on this quite a bit, which we Protestants can be thankful for. However, we should also recognize it for the backpedaling that it is. On the other hand, Protestants, since we do not view ourselves institutionally, have historically recognized real churches and Christians within traditions other than our own. Gavin concludes this section by talking about why the Protestant view of ecclesiology is the more biblical view and is to be preferred over the other models. Now we move on to the historical context that sparked the Protestant Reformation. In this section of the book, Gavin discusses a wide array of abuses, such as financial abuses regarding indulgences, and physical abuses, such as how heretics were treated. My favorite part of this section of the book, even though it was also the saddest part of the book, was when he discussed the trial of Jan Hus in pretty significant detail. I remember walking away from that section of the book truly disgusted. I remember exactly where I was when I finished reading that part of the book. I just sat it down, and I felt truly vindicated by the Protestant Reformation because it really was that bad. Gavin concluded this section with this powerful quote: "Late medieval abuses, both financial and physical, help explain why renewal in the church could come only in the form of protest." I agree. Now on to section 3, where he talks about authority within the church. In this section, Dr. Ortlund describes various arguments for and against sola scriptura. He covers a multitude of reasons why we should accept sola scriptura, and I believe does an amazing job debunking the arguments raised against it. He then goes on to discuss how the papacy slowly developed over time, and then devotes another chapter to discussing why the notion of apostolic succession, as it's understood today, is rejected by Protestants. Which, by the way, apostolic succession kind of needs to be true in order for the papacy to be true. In this section, Gavin says, Roman Catholic scholar Francis Sullivan opens his book on the topic as follows: "The question whether the episcopate is of divine institution continues to divide the churches. even though Christian scholars from both sides agree that one does not find the threefold structure of ministry, with a bishop in each local church assisted by presbyters and deacons in the New Testament. They agree, rather, that the historic episcopate was the result of a development in the post-New Testament period, from the local leadership of a college of presbyters who were sometimes called bishops, episkopoi in the Greek, to the leadership of a single bishop. Scholars differ on details, such as how soon the Church of Rome was led by a single bishop, but hardly any doubt the Church of Rome was still led by a group of presbyters for at least a part of the 2nd century. We mention the state of scholarship not to settle the issue, but to provoke the question, why do scholars so frequently take this view? The answer is an abundance of consistent evidence. On to Section 4, how Protestants view history. It's important to point out here that Protestants historically viewed themselves not as starting a new church. They saw themselves as a renewal movement within the church. The Reformers often appealed to church fathers and early councils in their denial of Roman Catholic accretions. Now, we've all heard the quote from John Henry Newman, "To be deep in history is to cease to be Protestant." But Gavin brilliantly responds to this when he talks about how Protestants view what it means to be deep in history. He draws a distinction between what he calls the majority depth, which he describes as the focus on what eventually becomes mainstream, widely accepted, or officially selected along the way of history, and ancient depth, which he describes as what is the original teachings of the apostles. He continues, there are practices and beliefs that occasionally become mainstream despite departing from apostolic teaching. This view cares more about what is deepest and what is oldest. In other words, the Catholic or Eastern Orthodox view of what it means to be deep in history is whatever is accepted over time by a majority of Christians. However, for Protestants, it is what the original teachings of the apostles were. And finally, we move on to Section 5, the 2 case studies. And if you've watched his YouTube channel at all, you probably know what these 2 case studies are on: the Assumption of Mary and Icon Veneration. Gavin gives, in my opinion, 2 decisive cases for why everyone should be Protestant in these concluding chapters. His case against the Assumption of Mary is a reason to not become Roman Catholic, and Icon Veneration will keep you from both the Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox traditions, as they both affirm the Council of Nicaea II as an infallible council. And if you haven't seen his videos on these topics, I'm going to put a link in the description below so you can go watch them as well. In conclusion, I genuinely loved this book. If you watch his YouTube channel, it felt like a highlight reel of all of his best videos defending the Protestant view of the church. However, I will say this, if you've seen all of his videos, don't think that that means you've basically read the book, because that's not true. He added to each and every case in these chapters, so you haven't already read the book if you've seen his videos. I think all Protestants should read this book in order to familiarize themselves with what it truly means to be Protestant and why we should be proud of our heritage. I also encourage all my non-Protestant friends out there to read it in order to understand where we are coming from as Protestants, and maybe you too can see why to be deep in history is actually to become Protestant. Thank you so much for watching this review of Gavin Ortlund's book. Let me know in the comment section down below if there's any other books you would want me to read. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and you want more content like this. This has been The Epitome. I'm your host, Nathan Bozeman. We'll see you around.